Clear skies and sunny weather greet us here at Daytona International Speedway for the first ever duels at Daytona, determining this lineup for the first race of the Right Lane Cup Series season. Hello, everybody. My name is Shane Landers, welcoming you all to Daytona International Speedway, where we will have two races, 20 laps each, to decide the field for our first Great American Race. We are now trackside here in duel number 1. We see Rose Gray in the 30, Angel Gutierrez in the 58 on our front row. All 21 cars in this duel lined up, ready to go. We're going to go ahead and get our command to fire engines.
Drivers, start your engines!
Thank you very much. And cars are going to go ahead and get ready to roll. And while we do that, we're going to get you our starting lineup here for duel number 1. As I mentioned, Rose Gray in the number 30 car for Crossroads Racing is on pole. Angel Gutierrez is on to his outside in the 58. In row 2, we have James Ellison, Rose Gray's teammate, with KJ Hayes in the 55. Daniel Voiles in row number 3 with Charles Sanford in the Busch Light Camry is starting 6th. Dunlop Pratt and Nicky Martinez are 7th. Jeffrey Finguy and Lane Sanders are starting in row 5. Vince Freeze and Austin Scott are in row 6. Ryan Griffin and Logan Cloud are in row 7. Jesse Turner and J.D. Martin in row 8. Julio Caesar and Henry Thomas are row 9. Ryan Reed and Samuel England are row 10. And Evan Marisi in the number 14 will round us out in row number 11 as the pace car rolls off for the first time. Here we're coming down to get the first duel underway. The green flag is out and we are racing here at Daytona. Duel number 1 is underway. And already the two Crossroads cars are together. We have Ellison pushing Rose Gray out front, but they're even going into turn number 1. Gutierrez putting up a good fight on the outside, but it looks like Rose Gray is going to lead as they head down into turn number 2. Already 3 wide behind them, we have Dunlop Pratt in the Sanders Performance Autosports car, the 41. He's on his 3 wide as we come down the back straightaway for the first time. 3 wide throughout the field. And Gray is going to lead us down to turn number 3. Ellison went to his outside, but Dunlop Pratt is going to get right underneath that number 30 McAllister's Deli Chevrolet and push him back. As we look back through the field, we got Vince Freeze here. There's Henry Thomas in the 36. Jesse Turner in the 94. He started in the back. Evan Marisi's made up several spots. He started dead last. And up front, Rose Gray, your pole sitter for the 500, has led the first lap. But here comes Dunlop Pratt in the 41, the Traxxas Pontiac, going to take the lead away. 3 wide throughout the field. That's Logan Cloud in the NOS Energy Ford in the Turner Performance Racing car. He's up to 2nd. That's Jeffrey Finguy in the 92. He's in the middle line. He's fighting for 2nd as well. Behind him, we have Henry Thomas in the 36. Turner, Cloud's teammate, is coming up through the field. But Martinez is holding strong. He went to block the outside, and now it looks like Finguy is going to put him 3 wide. Up front, though, it's Logan Cloud in the NOS Energy car. He is going to lead lap number 2. Here comes Henry Thomas pushing him, along with Jesse Turner, his boss and teammate, in the 94 Air Force Ford Mustang. Cloud blocks the middle line. Let's see if he can pull back down. He can't. Here comes Henry Thomas in the 36, trying to lead another lap. Very competitive race here in duel number 1. 3 wide throughout the entire field. Roughly 6, 7, 8 rows deep in the back of the field. That's Lane Sanders in the Domino's Pontiac. That's Dunlop Pratt's teammate. LaPrade continues to fight up here on the outside. But here comes Henry Thomas. He's going to get a push from Jesse Turner. He is going to lead this race. Thomas blocks the middle line. Here comes Turner on the inside, but it's not going to do him any help. Thomas leads that lap. Turner to the inside. He has help from Ryan Reed in the 57. But LaPrade on the outside gets such a massive push. He draws back even with Thomas and Turner. But LaPrade falls back. We're going to see what he can get on the back straightaway as LaPrade gets a massive shove from Rose Gray, the pole sitter. And Gray's got to ride very carefully here. He's got his teammate James Ellison behind him. And he knows he wants to protect this pole, and we have problems behind him. Charles Sanford got in the fence, and Nicky Martinez is scraping the wall. Lane Sanders got around him as well. But Martinez, big damage on the front end of the STP Toyota. That's going to lose him, get a lot of damage. That's going to lose them the draft. It might lose Sanders and Sandfer. The 01 and the 20 might lose them spots as well. And up front here, it looks like that was a single car, maybe 2 or 3 cars that got together. And looks like there's 3 cars that will lose the pack: Sandfer, Sanders, and Martinez. But up front, they're still running like nothing ever happened. That is not good either. Sandfer and Sanders are side by side. That's going to prevent them from keeping up with the pack. Up front, Dunlap-Pratt is still going to hold the lead. But here comes Henry Thomas in the M&M's Pontiac. That's for MB2 Motorsports. We're going to get a replay and see what happened going up into turn number 3 last lap. It looks like Martinez up front. He's behind Sandfer. Sandfer got in the fence, and Martinez ran over the Busch Light Toyota Camry. Lane Sanders had nowhere to go as well. It looks like he got very minimal damage, but Martinez, that is not good for him. Or that's not good for them trying to get into this race. But back up front, we have Ryan Reed in the Slick Blinds Dodge for Little Falls Motorsports leading a lap. Evan Marisi in the 14 started last. Here he is on the inside lane making headway in the number 14 Insurance King Chevrolet. He's getting pushed by Samuel England in the Exalta Pontiac. That is LaPrade and Sanders' teammate at Sanders Performance Autosports. Behind him is J.D. Martin, the Carfax Toyota for Revolution Racing. And Marisi moves up to block Henry Thomas. Here, that's going to allow Samuel England to pull alongside. He's not able to get alongside Marisi, but he is going to get that second position, or maybe he will get the lead out of turn number 4. Here comes Samuel England. Marisi blocks the outside. He's trying to play 2 lanes at once, but that's going to allow England to pull side by side, but Marisi will lead lap number 8, and he already gets put back to the outside. Turner and Reed are trying to make some headway. Here comes Samuel England again, making a bid for the lead. J.D. Martin as well. That's 75. That's Julio Caesar. The Build Submarines car, that is Ryan Reed's teammate at Little Falls Motorsports. As they're still 3 wide, Marisi got a good run off the top, building that momentum. He's going to retain the lead going into turn number 3 as England tries drawing back alongside. They're 3 wide for the lead, at least 5 rows deep here. You see behind there, there's Angel Gutierrez, started second in this race in the back, trying to stay out of trouble. KJ Hayes as well, and looks like they tried going 4 wide with LaPrade. That didn't amount to anything. As Evan Marisi, the Assurance King Chevrolet, is holding the lead, trying to block all the lanes. He moves from the top to the middle. He might move all the way to the bottom now. England is trying to get some headway and get back alongside Marisi. And it's to come down the back straight away. You see Lane Sanders back there. Charles Sanford, there he is coming out of turn number 2. Those cars have lost the draft. Sanders is barely in the draft. Sanford has lost the draft. And I think Nicky Martinez is probably just now coming onto the back straight away. Those are probably, unless we have some carnage here late in the race, those are probably going to be the inside of your last 3 rows, pending any inspection penalties. As we see Marisi moving, he's trying to move back up on Henry Thomas. Thomas was there, and Marisi's going to have to stay to the inside, getting pushed by Samuel England. J.D. Martin is finally clear of the 57. The 57-75 side by side, those are teammates. Marisi moves back up the block. He couldn't make it. There comes Henry Thomas. He's going to put Marisi 3 wide. Here comes Samuel England. Those 3 wide for the lead again here at Daytona. J.D. Martin has thrown his hat into the mix in the Carfax Toyota, trying to get up front, trying to get as much as they can. Remember, the winner of this duel and duel number 2 will fill out the second row in the first round at Daytona. The first row is made up of the top 2 in qualifying. That was Rhodes Gray and Jeff Bolton, as we will see in duel number 2. But meanwhile, here comes Julio Caesar in the 75, a shot out of a cannon by Ryan Griffin, Austin Scott, and Vince Freeze. That bottom line made such a lot of headway. Caesar's going to go up and block. He's going to go up 3 lanes, take the elevator up to the top line, and block that. England finally had gotten the lead. Here comes Ryan Griffin. England had finally got the lead, but he lost all that momentum getting up there, and now he's going to get put back by Caesar, Griffin, and Austin Scott in the Miller Lite Pontiac. Griffin has started deep in the field as well. I believe it was row 6 or 7 he qualified in. Same for Scott, same for Freeze. They're all making their presence known up front. This is going to be a very exciting finish to the first duel, I can tell you, as Caesar has pulled away. I cannot believe what I'm seeing. Caesar has pulled away. He's gapped Austin Scott by probably 2-3 car lengths as they come down the back straightaway. As we are on lap number 12, Caesar is trying to maintain a good gap, but on plate races like this and Talladega, you don't want to make that big of a gap because you could very easily get swarmed when the pack catches back up to you. That's just the power of the draft. And we see Caesar is holding a really good line. And Scott and Freeze are not able to make a challenge on the lead just yet. We'll see if they can build some momentum. Maybe one clears the other, and then they run down the 75. But Caesar is making a really good case of why he should be winning this race. He's pulled several car lengths on the leaders. He's maintained several car lengths on the leaders. And now it looks like this is the most it's ever been. He's 3 car lengths ahead of Vince Freeze in second place. The Flex Tools 4, that's a Fitzwater Australia car. He is doing really good here. His teammate Zachary Fitzwater is starting last in Duel 2. Vince Freeze, I think he's finally cleared Austin Scott, and you can see that gap is starting to shrink. Marisi is going to push Freeze. No, he's not. Marisi's going to go to the inside on Freeze, and Caesar is just holding a steady gap on the rest of the field. I am shocked that he's able to do this. And they're 2 and 3 wide throughout most of the field. Marisi's going to clear Freeze to get back into the second position. But meanwhile, Caesar is maintaining. Julio Caesar in the Little Falls Motorsports car, that they have to feel very proud about his chances for this race. But it looks like Marisi has finally hooked up. He got Logan Cloud. Cloud, I believe, got him up to the lead earlier. But Cloud's going to jump to the inside as we're going to come to complete lap number 14. We're on lap number 15 now. 6 laps of racing left in duel number 1. Marisi is now in line with Julio Caesar. Marisi might be able to set up a run for late in the race to get around Caesar and win the duel. But at the same time, if he waits too long, he could get shuffled back to the back of the pack and not have time to run him down. But they're 3 wide, 4 rows deep behind them. And I don't know, if I were, say, Henry Thomas, if I were Vince Freeze, or even Logan Cloud, I would be concerned. Because these cars could wreck and the race would be over. If I were Caesar, I would be pleased if I saw a caution. And they are looking to go 4 wide behind them. Vince Freeze had a really bad corner. Austin Scott tried going to his inside, but he's not going to be able to. That's going to allow Dunn LaPrade and Logan Cloud to get back alongside Vince Freeze. As Dunn LaPrade, he got shot out of a cannon by his teammate, Samuel England. And now the top 4 are single file. This is not what Caesar wanted to see, but Thomas is going to pull straight to the outside in that M&M's Pontiac. The MB2 car, he has no teammates in his race. This is the only MB2 car in Duel 1. His other 2 teammates, he's going to go to the inside. Here he comes. Thomas trying to pull a move on Marisi. Will he get help? He will get help. That is Dunn LaPrade. LaPrade pulled to the inside. He might go 3 wide himself to get the second spot. Vince Freeze is in the field as well, but coming to 4 laps to go. And there's a lap car. That is Nicky Martinez. That damaged car is off the pace. They tried running it around, waiting on a caution. It did not work. And this is absolutely not what the field wanted to see. Caesar will probably be able to get around them okay, but the rest of the field are 2 and 3 wide. That is going to stack them all up. Caesar tried going to the outside. He faked, looked to the bottom. Marisi's going to get trapped. It looks like Martinez tried getting out of the way, but they're 3 wide all around him. Look at Dunn LaPrade's shoot by. Thomas gets by. That's Logan Cloud getting by. KJ Hayes getting by. And Evan Marisi is going to be livid. He got blocked by Nicky Martinez. And oh, violence! Crash, almost. That's Gutierrez getting into Vince Freeze. And it looks like they keep it all straight. Unbelievable. Griffin got into it. That's going to hurt his chances. And Ellison got through, as did Ryan Reed. But Marisi is still getting held up by Martinez. If I were Marisi, I would be livid. He's now behind his teammate Daniel Voles in the 44 iRacing Chevrolet. But up front, it is Caesar, LaPrade, Thomas, and Logan Cloud. Cloud is led early. He is trying to get back up front. He's going to go underneath Henry Thomas. This is not what Thomas wanted to see. Here comes Finn Guy. Turner's back here, as is Rhodes Gray, the pole sitter. Thomas is going to get shuffled backwards unless he can get in line here. And if I were Thomas, I would be mad as well, because you were going to run down the leader if Logan Cloud stayed in line, but he didn't, and that's going to allow LaPrade to close all in on Julio Caesar. Finn Guy pulls to the inside. That Ford is absolutely on fire, Finn Guy's car is. But up front, it is 1-2 tandeming down the back straightaway on 2 laps to go here at Daytona. What can LaPrade do? What can Cloud do? These two have shown that they are willing to be aggressive. If they can get a run, if I were LaPrade, I would do it now. Cloud is trying to build a run. He's going to get momentum off the corner. What can he do? Coming to the white flag. 1 lap to go. Cloud to the inside of LaPrade. Here comes Henry Thomas. He's not going to go with Cloud. He's thinking, remember that? Remember what you did 2 laps ago? Well, I'm not going to return the favor. But it is going to hurt LaPrade, as now Julio Caesar is pulling away. He's gapping the field again. But I would not be shocked as we come down the back straightaway for the final time in Duel 1. I would not be shocked if LaPrade happens to pull to the inside. He's getting a massive run with Thomas, with Gray, with Finn Guy. Cloud is getting shafted on the inside. Austin Scott's here. Here comes Henry Thomas. Thomas to the inside. Will Gray go with him? One last dash. Here they come out of turn number 4. Thomas tried making a run, but it is not going to happen. Julio Caesar wins Duel 1, advances into the second row for the 500. LaPrade got second. Thomas squeaked out third over Rhodes Gray. Your pole sitter kept a clean car. Finn Guy got 5th. Turner got 6th. Marisi, he got 9th under Austin Scott and Logan Cloud, who got ruined on the last lap. Daniel Voles gets a top 10. There's Ellison, Reed, J.D. Martin, Samuel England, Vince Freeze is over there. There's Martinez finishing a lap down in last. Ryan Griffin lost a lot of momentum. Lane Sanders, and around turn 4, here comes Charles Sanford. He is going to finish in the 20th position, and that is going to round out the first duel here at Daytona. An absolutely crazy finish there. And there's your man who was able to do it, Julio Caesar. A great showing, a lot of speed in this duel, led the most laps. I believe he led 7 laps. An absolutely amazing run for the Build Submarines Dodge Charger. Little Falls Motorsports ought to be very proud of that team. They showed a lot of speed. Both their cars did. And for them, that is going to be a really good run. That's going to give them a lot of momentum into the 500 as we go. Here are our finishing results. Here we are for duel number 2 as
Drivers, start your engines!
there's our command to fire engines for duel number 2. This is Jeff Bolton and Stephen Colin rounding out our row 1 as we are going to get your starting lineup right here shortly. Starting row number 1, Jeff Bolton, he will start in row 1 for the race 1 at Daytona. Stephen Collins is outside. Taylor Frey and Christian Vargas are row 2. Alexander Phoenix and Griffin Lapel McDermott are row number 3. Chris Martins and Cody Goforth are row number 4. Nick Breeding and Derek Hamill, row number 5. RJ Bishop and Peter Onjak are row number 6. Mitchell Carter and Luke Evans are row number 7. Ben McDonald and Landon Thomas are row 8. Stanley Andrews and Asher Evelyn are row 9. Justin Henley and Mac Johnson number 10. And Zachary Fitzwater rounds out the field in row 11. A lot of action we saw in duel number 1. Let's see if duel number 2 will give us anything better. As the pace car brings the field down, it's going to peel off right here. The field comes to collect the green flag. As we come through the trioval, we are racing for duel number 2. The green flag is out, and the field is getting up to speed. Duel 2 is underway. Already, Jeff Bolton draws an eye on Stephen Colin. He's going to get the lead in the turn number 1. Nick Breeding made a dairy move on the start. He's going to be 3 wide in the turn 1 behind Alexander Phoenix. Bolton gets an easy half car length on Taylor Frey in the 15 as they come down the back straightaway for the first time. Bolton's going to move up here, block Stephen Colin. They're looking 3 wide around Frey. That's Alexander Phoenix in the Exo Tiger Pontiac. He's going to try to make a move on Frey. Frey holds the bottom. Bolton is trying to run 2 lanes at once. It's not going to work. Here comes Taylor Frey. Frey is trying to lead lap number 1. It looks like he might, unless Bolton can get some help. It's not going to work, as it looks like Taylor Frey, that on Giotto Dodge, is going to lead lap number 1 of Duel 2. But here comes Alexander Phoenix. Here comes Breeding as well. Here comes Chris Martins as well. Bolton is starting to drop back. He might be dropping back to save his car, because they do not want to bring a backup car out. And it looks like Alexander Phoenix is looking all over Taylor Frey. Frey's going to move up to block, but that's going to allow Phoenix. Phoenix got held in the middle. Here comes Nick Breeding on the inside. Ballsy moves from that 54 Toyota. Breeding at the Breeding Starcom car is pulling away. He's going to lead lap number 2, it looks like. The 29, that is Mitchell Carter. And the Castrol 4, that's another Finn Guy car. But up front, Nick Breeding, he tried blocking 3 lanes. He's leading lap number 2. But here comes Mitchell Carter in the 29. 46 to 51. Those are teammates. Stephen Andrews and Mac Johnson, the Wonder Bread car and the JBL Toyota respectively. Mitchell Carter is going to lead, but here comes Nick Breeding on the outside. Andrews is going to be left out to dry by his teammate. Here comes Mac Johnson in the 51. Johnson had a pretty strong car we saw in Happy Hour. He is trying to lead this race. He's got Asher Evelyn and Zachary Fitzwater behind him. Fitzwater started last. And he is already up. He's about the 10th position. Breeding tried to get past. He's going to lead lap number 3. We're on lap number 4 now. Phoenix pushes Breeding past. Breeding's going to go back to block the middle. He might go back to the bottom. He can't really do it because there's Mac Johnson. Asher Evelyn gets up to the 3rd position. 3 wide throughout this entire field. I cannot believe what I'm seeing. We have Breeding trying to block. Mac Johnson trying to play 2 lanes as well. This second duel seems to be a lot more aggressive than the first duel. There was a lot of 3 wide action, yes, but not a lot of moving. Not a lot of coming and going. Here we have cars going back to the front very quickly. And Mac Johnson comes out of turn number 4. It looks like he is going to lead lap number 4. That's our 3rd lead change of the day. Maybe he got the lead. No, he didn't. Breeding beat him that time by 1/100th of a second, too. Johnson, not like leading laps in the duels is going to matter, but for Mac Johnson, he wants to show off his stuff early this season. Asher Evelyn in that 99. That's another Revolution Racing car. Evelyn is on the inside, but cannot build any momentum down the back straightaway as Breeding pulls right back out in front. Breeding has something figured out on that outside lane as he's able to block Phoenix. Maybe Breeding and Phoenix are going to be good partners in this race. They're not teammates. They're not even in the same manufacturer. But here at these plate tracks, when you find somebody that you're confident working with, means more than anything. Because in these races, it takes more than one car to win these races. Meanwhile, on the bottom line, Mac Johnson is trying to play lanes, but it is stalling out the bottom line's momentum. He's back to the bottom now. There's still 3 wide for 3rd place between Evelyn, Carter, and Alexander Phoenix. But up front, it has been Mac Johnson and Nick Breeding going back and forth for several laps now. Evelyn just cannot make a run to get up there. Fitzwater, I'm sure Fitzwater, and someone's in the wall. That is the 22. Keeps it going. That hurt Luke Evans in the 43. Meanwhile, those are 2 cars that looks like they're going to lose the draft. That is not what you want to happen early in this race. But Who knows? Maybe a caution could come out and save those cars. But up front, the way they're racing, it would not surprise me whatsoever if that happened. Johnson and Breeding have been having a dogfight for this lead. Johnson barely gets the momentum, but Breeding gets it all back on the back straightaway. You see Johnson moves up to the middle to try to side draft that top line, stall him out a little bit. And it looks like Mac Johnson's going to get back to Breeding's quarter panel, use that momentum, and get back to the lead. Let's see what Breeding can do. Breeding led that last lap by 400ths. Let's see out of turn 4. See what they can do. And this is something that could very well happen in race number 1. Side by side, dead heap. Breeding got it that time, 300ths of a second. You could see this in round 1 at Daytona. 2 cars, maybe even 3 cars, side by side, fighting for the win. And the duels are always a good show of what you're expecting to see for the first round at Daytona. 2, 3 wide, and see what cars are strong, what cars aren't really strong. But most importantly, you'll see what the package is going to be like. This is a good example of what we'll see come round 1 at Daytona. 2, 3 wide, all bunched together. Close quarters racing, lots of action, and lots of danger. We don't want to see a lot of cars junked in these duels because a lot of these teams spend lots of time on these race cars, preparing them for Daytona. Breeding leads again that time. It was 500th instead of 3 that time. Breeding pulls back out front on Mac Johnson. Johnson gets another shot again. Now they're dead even as they come down to the back straightaway. But these two have been fighting. Now I think this is probably the 6th or 7th lap that they have been fighting. And now Asher Evelyn moved behind Mac Johnson. Here is Zachary Fitzwater on the scene. The Foster's Ford doesn't have his teammate in this duel, but Fitzwater, we're having a really strong run here. Started last in this duel, has the 31 behind him. That's Justin Henley. He's going to shove Mac Johnson out of the way and take 3 wide. Fitzwater's going to go for the lead. No, he's not. He's going to stay behind Johnson. Breeding's going to get away from this. This is exactly what Breeding wanted. Justin Henley tries shoving his way through. And up there's Bolton, your row 2, your pole city starting in row 1 in the 500. He doesn't want to get a damaged race car. Up front, they are still, the first few rows are too wide. And back here, there's Luke Evans in the 43. The Mobile 1 car, that is the 3rd Turner Performance car. Looks like he tried to avoid the 22. There's the 22. Running deep in the field. Looked like he got the wall. And already, look, happened here. They're 4 wide. Henley got shoved into the middle, but there was no room there. There's the 11 car trying to get through. There's the 5. There's the 2 Angiato cars in the field. All the Angiato cars are in this field, and 2 of them just put Henley 4 wide. Fitzwater's trying to block, and this is absolutely not what you want to see. This isn't Talladega. You might be able to get away with this, but here at Daytona, not so much. Henley is 4 wide. They're 4 wide back in the pack. Ben McDonald is in the middle of that, and that is not what Bolton wants to see because he wants to save his car. A lot of these teams are. Now let's see what they're trying to do out of turn number 4. There's a crash. Violence. There they go. Peter Onjack's around. Absolute mayhem out of turn number 4. Goforth is in it. That's the 29. That's Mac Johnson, had a strong car. Luke Evans is going to blow by. There's Ben McDonald in the 16. Another Starcom car having troubles. The caution flag is out. See who got through. Who's the leader? Zachary Fitzwater is your leader. There's the 11. There's the 31. There's Bolton. I think Bolton got through that wreck. Unbelievable. Breeding. Nick Breeding has damage. Looks like Hamill got through it. Derek Hamill, the 46. RJ Bishop was in the back. He might have got through it. Same with Alexander Phoenix. The 19 of Stephen Colon has damage. Taylor Frey, heavy damage. There's the 29 car. There's Luke Evans. He got through the wreck, as did the 22 car. Those 2 cars were very lucky here. And there's the 00 Christian Vargas, heavy damage. And let's see what happened. And they just all squeezed together, that 4 wide. Henley got spun, he saved it, and then got into Peter Onjack, throwing him around. And further back, we had Ben McDonald squeezed up, got hit again by Cody Goforth. And two wrecks happened at once, it looked like. Very unusual. This is Asher Evelyn's on board. Yeah, just had no room out of 4. Really unusual wreck we have here. These 2 cars got together. This is Peter Onjack in the Onjato car. Mayhem. And you could tell Onjack thought he was clear, it looked like. And here we are coming back to the green flag. Zachary Fitzwater is your leader. We're going to restart with 5 laps to go. Zachary Fitzwater, as we said, is your leader. And as we're coming down, green flag is back out. Here comes the 11 car. The third Onjato car, the only one that wasn't even in that wreck. Bolton gets a jump on Justin Henley. Nick Breeding with his door damage is holding up the 05. That is Chris Martins. Fitzwater, Fitzwater gets a run. Bolton is on a charge. Look at that Valvoline Pontiac, the third MB2 car, and the fastest one in this week so far. Bolton is alongside Fitzwater. Bolton restarted 4th. He's going to go for the lead. While behind them, they are stacking up. Derek Hamill got through with Chris Martins, but Bolton, he's going to be alongside Fitzwater. Jeff Bolton in that number 10, showing why he's starting outside pole. That car is fast. He's got a fast hot rod. Here comes Chris Martins. Hamill, Steven Andrews is here. And is that RJ Bishop? That is RJ Bishop. Bishop, 4 laps to go. Bishop stayed in the back all day. Now he's going to try to get a good starting position for the first round at Daytona. Chris Martins in the 05 moves Bolton out of the way. Steven Andrews comes with him. Fitzwater is able to retain the lead. They're side by side behind him. This is what got Julio Caesar his duel. The cars behind Caesar fought so ferociously, he was able to keep a gap on the field. Andrews tried going 3 wide on RJ. He's going to fall back 3 wide. Derek Hamill, he might have had a little bit of damage from that, but it is keeping him in this fight. This fight to start row 2 at Daytona. He wants to get as good a starting position as he can. Asher Evelyn is here, as is Nick Breeding. They are still 3 wide. RJ Bishop is trying to get as much positions as he can. Chris Martins in the 05. Unbelievable run. He is going to go around. Zachary Fitzwater built up a run, and he is going for it. Chris Martins on the back straightaway. RJ Bishop is through to 3rd. Here comes Jeff Bolton again. Bolton is trying to build up another charge. We'll see what RJ Bishop can do. It's 2.5 laps to go here at Daytona. Martins is going to clear Fitzwater. Fitzwater is going to start dropping like a stone because he has no help. RJ Bishop. Here comes RJ Bishop in the Bishop family car. That Kroger Ford is fast and he's showing it when it matters. He's got Bolton behind him. Fitzwater is dropping like a rock. Unbelievable. Here comes Bolton again. Hamill is starting to lose this draft. Derek Hamill in the silver bullet in his own car. Asher Evelyn has caught him. Meanwhile, Bolton absolutely trying to get back to the lead. He is going to get back to the lead. But up front, it is side by side. 6 cars deep. 8 cars in this lead draft. Who can win it? As we're coming half a lap to go. It's any of these cars' chance to win. Bolton trying his best. As we're coming out of turn number 4, we're going to get the white flag this time by. Bolton has cleared. Jeff Bolton is leading. It is the white flag. 1 lap to go here at Daytona. Bolton trying his best to hold off the 11 car. That is Landon Thomas. Thomas to the inside. Landon Thomas has no help. That's Zachary Fitzwater. Fitzwater put Steven Andrews 3 wide. Bolton is in a prime position to win this duel. Not unless they do that. They're 4 wide down the back straightaway. That is Chris Evans making a ballsy move to the outside. That's RJ Bishop. Bishop is coming up the middle. Unbelievable. RJ Bishop trying to win this duel. They're still 4 wide as they come through 3 and 4 for the final time. Fitzwater's on the inside. Thomas in the middle. Bishop contact. Contact again. As they come down to the tri-oval, it's Bishop or Evans. Thomas side by side. It's going to be Landon Thomas in the last Anjado car is going to win duel number 2, and that's going to get him a 4th starting position. Unbelievable. RJ Bishop 2nd, Steven Andrews 3rd, Zachary Fitzwater got a 4th, Bolton got a 5th, Asher Evelyn got 6th, Chris Evans Martin 7th, Derek Hamill 8th, 22. And look at the field. This is what's left of the field, as most of these cars were in that big crash earlier in this race. That is Taylor Frey. What a shame. Had a strong car. Stephen Colon started outside pole in this race. So did Alexander Phoenix. Had a good run as well. Wasted from that. But Landon Thomas, what a ballsy last lap that was, as Evans tried going around RJ Bishop. Bishop wouldn't have it, and Bishop almost won the race. This came down to 200ths of a second. This finish did. And this could be a prelude of what we see at Daytona for the first round at Daytona. But for Landon Thomas and the Anjado group, that is a strong run to show what they have. They have the spirit and they have the gumption to win this race. And thank you everybody so much for watching. We will get you results for round number 2 here shortly.